Hello friends, welcome to Online Web Tutor. I am Sanjay. In this video, we'll discuss about a very exciting topic of CodeIgniter 4, and that is how to execute Spark commands inside application. If I back to editor, so here we have opened Visual Studio Code Editor. Inside this editor, also we have opened a CodeIgniter 4 project. So in this video, our question is that how to execute Spark commands from application. So first thing first, what are Spark commands? So Spark commands inside CodeIgniter 4 is a newly added feature. By the help of those commands, we can manage entire application. Back to project terminal. If I type PHP Spark, pressing enter, now we can see that here we have a Spark commands list. And from all of these commands of this list, we can do a specific task. For example, if we want to create a controller for our application, I will use make controller command. If I want to create a model file, I will use make model command. Even if I want to use and create a migration file, I will use make migration command. So there are lots of commands available inside PHP Spark. By the help of that, we can do many more operations with our application. So first thing first, let's see that how to execute any of the command from terminal. If I go inside application folder, go inside app, controllers. So here we have number of controllers equals to 4. Let's say that I want to create a controller from terminal. So I will use make controller command. So let's see that how to use that. PHP Spark, this is all about a prefix syntax to execute any of the Spark command. So PHP Spark, then we need to type our command name called make controller. Put a space here, then we need to pass our controller class name. So let's say that I want to create sailor controller.php. So the class name will be sailor, and I will add a suffix flag. It means it will create sailor controller.php. Press enter. Now we can see that our controller has been created inside app folder, inside controllers folder. Back to editor, go inside app, controllers. Now we can see here sailor controller.php. So this is how we can use make controller command. Even if I go inside editor, let's say that I want to see all about our application routes. It means that how many routes are available inside application I want to show and display inside this terminal. So what I will do, PHP Spark, press enter. If I go inside this section called CodeIgniter, look at a command called routes. It displays all application routes. Let's use that. PHP Spark. If I type routes, which is a command name, press enter. As we can see, it displays a tabular format. Inside this tabular format, here we have few columns called method. This is all about the method type. These are routes and their handler. It means whenever we type student's route, it will call site controller and index method. So successfully, by the help of Spark CLI command, we can go and manage our application. Now next we'll see that if we want to execute any of our Spark command from application, how to execute that. Let's back to our command list, PHP Spark, pressing enter. So let's say that I want to first create a controller file from application. So this is all about the command, but instead of executing those commands from terminal, I want to execute these commands from this application. So let's go inside sailor controller, and here let's define a method, public function, and I will define a method called execute command, or let's say execute my command. So if I want to use make controller command, make controller, let's open its help manual first. Help manual helps us to actually take an overview that how to use this command. So PHP Spark, if I type help here, and after help we need to put our command name called make controller. Press enter. So as you can see, make controller, which is a command name. So after command name, we need to pass a name, and this name actually the name of the controller class. Also we have our options, but these options are not mandatory. These are optional parameters. So for the time being, we want to create a normal controller class. Back to editor, go inside any of the controller. So I will go inside seller controller, inside this method. So if we want to create any of the controller, just go and remember whatever we had done with our make controller command from terminal. Let's open a slide here. So from terminal, what we had done, PHP Spark, make controller, and we had passed our controller class name called seller, and also we had passed suffix as a flag. In result, it has created seller controller.php file inside our app controllers folder. Let's make use of the same command, but this time we'll pass a different class name. So I will go here inside this execute my command. If I type echo, and here we have a special function available inside CodeIgniter 4, which is a helper function, and by the help of that we can execute any of our Spark CLI command. So inside this command function, put double quotes or single quote, and inside this we need to pass our command name. So if we go inside the slide, so the command is make controller, then we need to pass controller class name, and this is optional parameter. Go here, so PHP Spark, let's say PHP Spark, make controller, and then we need to pass our controller class. So let's say that I want to create product controller.php, so I will pass product, then we need to pass suffix as a flag. But we are executing this command from our seller controller, it means our custom controller, and we had used a helper function for that. So in this case, we don't need to pass actually PHP Spark here, so just remove that. So directly inside this command helper function, we need to pass our command name, that is make controller, product, which is a controller class name, and suffix. Let's save these changes, go inside routes.php, and I will create a route which points to this method. Go here, let's say routes, I will use get method, and let's say execute command, and this route will call seller controller, and from seller controller we'll call our method called execute my command. So copy the method name and pass it here. Back to terminal, let's start development server. So PHP Spark serve, press enter. Development server started. Back to browser, so this is our application. Back to application, so I will copy our route here, that is execute command. Back to project URL, and if I type project URL execute command, so this will hit all about seller controller and execute my command method. Press enter. Now we can see that inside output we are getting file created, and this product controller.php has been created inside this directory structure. Back to editor, go inside our app controllers folder, app controllers folder. Now we can see product controller.php. So successfully, as we can see that now we had executed our Spark command from application. So this is not only for this make controller, even if we want to create any migration file, also we can do that. If I go inside terminal, let's go inside our Spark command list. So inside generators, now we can see that here we have a command called make migration. What is migration? Inside CodeIgniter 4, migrations are those classes by the help of that we can create a table skeleton. So let's create a migration file. So before creating any migration file, if we want to open its help manual, so let's open that PHP Spark help, and then if I type make migration, press enter. So while using make migration command, we need to pass a name here, and the name is nothing, it's a migration class name. Optionally we can pass a suffix. db group means many more optional parameters. So as simple as that, we're going to create a simple migration file. So what I will do, if we want to create from terminal, so php spark make migration, and let's say that create hyphen products hyphen table, press enter. Now we can see that a migration file has been created inside app, database and migrations folder. Back to editor, go and reload app, database, migrations, and now here we have our migration class. So this is the file we had created using our Spark CLI command via terminal, but the same command will execute from this our custom controller. So let's remove that. Let's echo. We will use command helper function, put a double quote or single quote. Now we need to pass our command. So remember, this is the command we had used. I will copy the whole command. Back to slide. So this is make migration. Let's say that from our application we want to create, let's say create categories table. I will copy the whole command, go here, put here. Remember, we are using command helper function, so don't need to pass this PHP Spark. So just remove that, save all these changes, go here, let's reload this page. And I think that development server not started, so PHP Spark serve, press enter, go and reload. And now as we can see that our migration class has been created inside this directory structure. Go here, inside app, database, migrations, and here we have our third migration file, and that is create categories table. So inside any of the command from this Spark CLI list, we can execute the whole command from application. So successfully, this is all about that how to execute any of our CLI command from our application. So in the next video, we'll see some more different topics. So for this video session guys, thank you for watching and have a great day.